Good morning, everybody. This is the Playbook and the Playbill with your host, Leanna Butte, where every performance is a play. Today, we are talking some Yankees baseball, but before we get into it, make sure to follow us at WIUR Gales Radio on Instagram at WIUR _ Gales Radio for our club updates and more. Thank you so much for listening on this good and rainy Monday morning. The Yankees swept the Brewers. I am very happy of how the weekend ended up. I was not positive going to the season, as you all know. But for the Yankees to perform the way they did, to just mash the Brewers pitching. And even the great Freddie was great in game 1. But Wells was able to get him early. Volpe was able to get him. And then later in the game, the Yankees were able to play around with their bullpen and just play small ball, walks, and then get base hits and etc. to get that win in game 1. And Rodon had a great game 1 performance. He went 5 in 1 innings. He got the win. I'm very happy for him. He had 7 Ks. I think he ties Randy Johnson, with starting opening day and having 7 Ks, and I think he's only the second Yankee left-hander to have an opening day start with 7 Ks, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was one of the stats that popped up, if I'm not mistaken. He was brilliant on the mound. He looked in control for most of the game, and the one inning that it really looked maybe he was gonna lose it was in the 6th inning. He comes out, Boone pulls him. Hill comes in. There's a few soft contact that ends up with a single and could have ended up just being a run, but thankfully Hill is able to get another ground ball, his specialty. He gets out of the inning. Rodon gets the win. And then their bullpen was great. You had Hill come in, as I said. He didn't even have to pitch more than 2 innings, and he was great. You had Leiter come in, pitch an inning, 2 Ks. You had Weaver come in, pitch an inning, 2 Ks. When it came to Williams, that's when you had the struggles. He got himself into trouble early on. And as a fan watching Clay Holmes for years get into the same trouble as Williams did, my heart was beating so fast. I was so anxious. I started to pace. Like, I just couldn't sit still because I have seen this script so many times with Clay Holmes getting himself in trouble and not able to get himself out. We've seen this script so many times that I'm like, not again. Please, not again. Williams was able to get out the inning, gets his first save against his former team, and I was very happy for that. And then also Wells, his first ever leadoff a bat in the major leagues, batting leadoff, is a home run. And it's on a 2-0 count. And it's against Peralta, who's a phenomenal pitcher. Don't get me, he is a great pitcher. I personally think he's the ace on the Brewers staff. And he didn't have a bad night either. I think he had like 6 Ks or something like that. But his team wasn't able to fight back as much until towards the end of the game to actually stay in the game and allow him to at least not get the loss, but at least go with a no decision. But even Wells, he's the first catcher to do that since 1909, if I'm not mistaken, and he is the first Yankees leadoff hitter in opening day history to hit a home run in the leadoff spot. I didn't know that didn't exist before. That is crazy. He is the first one. And he's never bat leadoff in his career. So that was amazing to watch. And then also him calling the game with Rodon, and also Rodon literally loving him in the press conference was amazing to see how much growth Wells has had only in his second year. Technically his full second year with the Yankees, and the pitching staff trust him so much. and the way they just are, like, connecting between Rodon and him. And I love it because when Rodon first signed with the Yankees, he was injured and Wells was in the minors. And that was the catcher he actually caught with when he was on his rehab stunts. And I think their chemistry just grew as Wells got the opportunity to play in the big leagues. And it really shows it how much he works on his defense every day. He made brilliant blocks throughout the series. And then you can't even Volpe making brilliant plays in the defense, and also he's been hitting. He's been getting on base. He looks so much better at bat than he did prior. And also about these uh new bats that the Yankee that I think it's Chisholm and Volpe are using these. And I don't think it's worse or better. I think it actually is better for them because now they have a it's easier for them to hit contact from that stance. I definitely think for players who Volpe is not really a power hitter known, but he could be, and so can Jazz. So I think that also helps them a lot. But I am excited to see like Volpe go on his next step of who he's going to become, and hopefully he gets his offense going because his defense is there. He made stellar plays all weekend long. So I'm excited for that to see him develop more as a offensive player than a defensive player because his defense is there. He already has a Golden Glove. So that's nothing for me. Like I'm excited to see where his next steps are. And also for him to go Oppo against Freddie was just amazing to see him. And I was so excited for him. And he's just because we're close in age, I just feel like I'm growing up watching him develop and I want to see like him be the next big superstar in the lineup right now. And I'm excited to see hopefully maybe this is the year he becomes that. He passes whatever literally the expectations the Yankees had for him when he first came up was that he was going to be the next superstar next to Judge and Stan. And he really hasn't done that except for in the World Series he was great. And I think him carrying it from the momentum from then to now is just brilliant for me. Like to see his it didn't phase him them losing. He just they switched they switched it off and they switched into a new season and they're hitting and they're pitching great. But I could say a different story about the Brewers. Brewers pitching is not doing great. Game 2, it was heartwarming for me because I love Cortez. I did not want him traded. I personally thought that they would trade Stroman for Williams, then Cortez, because Stroman has another year, and the Brewers they could use that long guy. That wasn't the deal, and it hurt because I love Cortez. I've got to meet him over the years, and he's a great guy. He's a great Yankee. He loves playing for the Yankees, so that hurt seeing him not in a Yankee uniform this year. But I did not expect what I was going to see in game 2. Not at all. 3 pitches, 3 home runs. And even this is the crazy part. You have Paul Goldschmidt for game 2, who has never lead off in his entire career, hit a home run his first pitch. Then you have Bellinger hit a home run second pitch. Then you have Judge hit a home run third pitch. And I'm like, what the heck am I watching? This is literally gold. Like and Goldie's nickname, yeah. But he starts it off. But I'm excited because like this was just crazy to watch. It was just like what was happening in that first inning. It was 3 pitches. And I'm sorry to say it, they were not placed right. The one to Judge was a meatball. But like for that to happen in game 2 of the year and to see that Bellinger was literally just came off celebrating his home run. He didn't even have time to really celebrate it when Judge swing the bat at his next pitch and hit the home run. And the entire team, I remember watching them like on the bench. They were just shocked of what just happened. And I think it was Bellinger after the game said, has this ever happened before? And it has never happened. So the Yankees break another record, which is amazing. And also that entire game, they destroyed Cortez. I think he gave 7 runs, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Because later on in the game, he also gave up Austin Wells stayed hot. He had a home run against the left-handed, and that actually gives us a lot more hope for him that he could stay in the game against left-handers because that has been what he struggles with is batting against left-handers. But if he's able to stay in and go oppo or just get stay in that he's able to get contact and not swing and miss, that's gonna help him dramatically in his offense. He's gonna become even better against left-handers, and he's gonna be able to play against left-handers as the starter, either as the DH or the catcher that day. So he's not gonna be pulled for a left-hander pitching on the mound, and he's shown that he could hit them. And even Volpe pulled another ball for, if I'm not mistaken. I think he pulled another ball, or that was game 3. No, that was game 2. Yeah, I think he pulled another. Yeah, he pulled another ball, and they have all been really just great. All the young guys, Wells, Volpe, Rice with a home run yesterday. Wells with 2 home runs, Jazz with 3 home runs already. Dominguez getting lots of walks. And just like even Ascara got some time beyond the plate. He didn't really have a great 2 at bats, but he will get the reps, and I'm excited to see him eventually get up and actually has his official MLB debut that he plays the full game. I'm excited for the for I can't say young kid because he's 29. So I'm excited to see his debut. But this team looks great. And also they scored 20 runs with 9 home runs in one game. I think they scored 4 or 5 in just 3 or 4 innings. And I was like, what am I watching here? This is great baseball for me. Not for Brewers fans, but for me, it was great baseball. And Judge is just a outstanding player. 3 home runs and a grand slam. He almost went for his 4th. He missed his 4th by probably an inch or 2 in right field when he got a double. And he missed crushing the ball in his last at bat against Bowers, the position player, by swinging just a little bit underneath it. But he had a crazy game in game 2. 8 RBIs, 3 home runs. He is the only current Yankee player to have current one, right now to have 2 game span of 8 RBIs or more. The only Yankee player who has ever done it has been Lou Gehrig in 1928. That's crazy. And he's the only Yankee player in the first 3 game series to hit 4 home runs to start off the season. In all of Yankee history. Lou Gehrig did it, never did it. Mickey Mantle did it. A-Rod never did it. Jeter never did it. Bernie never did it. Judge is the first player to do that. And I'm excited to see him do it. So I'm excited where Judge is. He's going to go for his MVP year. I'm excited where the young guys are. I'm excited where this team is going into the off day today that they now face Arizona, which is going to be a good team. I definitely think they're going to be a good team. I think with getting Corbin Burns and getting Naylor definitely helps them offensively and defensively. And I definitely think they're going to be a great team in the West. Do they win the West? I think the Dodgers are hands down the winner. But I definitely see that there's more of competition than I thought going to this season with the West teams. With the Giants, the Diamondbacks, the Padres, and I personally think they do give the Dodger competition, but we haven't seen that yet because the Dodgers are 5-0. They've not lost a game yet. So, I don't know. But I feel like the Arizona from not making it from being kinda screw kinda screwed last season because the three-way tie, not making the playoffs because of that. I think they have a chip on their shoulder, so I think they're gonna be working a lot harder, and I think they show it as well, and I think the Yankees do too. I know Judge will never mention it, but I think he's gonna play pissed off this season. I definitely think so, because I think the players who are in the team who were last year, necessarily the young players and the players around Judge, the pitchers necessarily, they're playing angry. We have seen that because they did not like how the Dodgers treated and said certain things in the offseason. They have every right to say things, but you have to say it at a point that, like, it's just certain things should not be said. So I am excited to see where this team ends up going. I'm going to talk more Yankees after the break. Looking for a direct line to the people I wanna reach out to us and let us know if you have an event or program you need us to talk about on Instagram at WIUR_Gals Radio or email James Melvin for any request. Now let's talk about pitching in this series. The Yankees starting pitching has been great. From Rodon. Only. And that's the truth. Freed did not have a great day. Stroman did not have a great day. And that kind of bothers me. Stroman, I understand it. It was just misplaying, and also that was a cheap two-run shot. Other than that, he had a decent day. But Freed, I felt for the kid. I don't know. I keep saying he's kid. He's older than me by probably 10 years. Because he pitched fine, I think, but his defense really messed the Yankees up. They really did. And I am just like, the Yankees had 5 errors in the game. That should not be happening. And they had someone at third were Pablo Reyes, who I've never heard of him. I think he made 2 or 3 errors that ended up having run score eventually. Volpe had an error that I think had a run come in, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he did. They played horrible defensively game 2. And that was not the story that should have been happening. The storyline was that you get all these players who know how to play defense. You're supposed to be able to defend. Game 2, it looked like they didn't know how to play baseball at all. They had no fundamentals. They didn't have any fundamentals. The infield, not the outfield. The outfield was fine. Dominguez always gets me nervous, but he was the DH that day, so I wasn't that worried. But they made errors. Freed made an error, and he's a good pitcher, defensive pitcher. So that bothered me. But then they played game 3 and they cleaned up their defense. So that was better for me. But Freed pitched okay. He wasn't the greatest pitcher. He only had 2 earned runs and then 6 unearned on errors. And I felt bad because he really did pitch better than that. And he couldn't get into finish the 5th. So he was not able to get the win after the Yankees put up. I think at that point it was maybe like 12 or 13 at that point when it was out of the game. So they were able to deal with that. So I was kind of like, do I feel like the same way I did last year when they were just making these stupid miscues that they should not be doing it and I feel angry? Or should I be kind of like on the fence because they did score 20, but they did commit 5 errors, and if it was a different day, they would have been losing this game. And I said, like, to myself, like, This is just one game. Let's see how they play tomorrow, and they played better tomorrow the next day. And I think going forward, Reyes will be playing in the outfield when Judge takes the day off or Dominguez isn't playing left. And I think Peraza or Oswaldo is gonna play third. I personally think that. I think that's where they're gonna stick at because I think they're gonna play a better third than Pablo Reyes has. He didn't look good at third at all. I didn't even know he played third. The only time I've seen in the spring training was in the outfield, so I didn't even know he played third. He didn't play a great third, that's for sure. But then the bullpen was able to pick up Freed. Hill came in, not Hill. Gomez was able to come in. He was able to get out of the inning, and he pitched more inning plus and was able to get a few strikeouts. Hendricks, his first game on the Bronx. I think it was his first game in the Bronx. He made the roster. I was happy for him. The left-hander. He got 2 Ks. Carrasco did not have a good opening to start off the season. He pitched 2+ innings. I think he gave up 3 runs and a home run. He did get us out of it. He did technically get, I think it was a save or whatever. I think Gomez got the one game, if I'm not mistaken. But Carrasco did not have the great start that he should have, that he wanted to start because he is technically in the rotation as of right now. So that wasn't the greatest start for him. So I wasn't really that happy about it, but we'll see how he is. I think he's supposed to start one of the games against the Diamondbacks, so we'll see. And then Sherman was fine. He pitched. He didn't get the decision either, but his pitch count was really elevated. And also, Stroman is a corners guy, so he pitches a lot for the corners. So he has a lot of 3-2 counts. So I understood him not going 5 innings. And also, the 3 runs, that's a quality start for Stroman. Like, a lot of it, like except for the home run, he pitched a decent game. I really think he did. And then you had the rest of the bullpen come back, which was Hill pitched great for the Yankees again. Hill is my favorite player they've re-signed because he was their black horse in the playoffs. He was the guy you turn to for every out that was important that you needed. And he could pitch against left-handers or right-handers. He has the stuff. And also, like, his weird windup is really cool to watch, and I just love watching him. And then you had Leiter, who really I did not think he was making the roster as of from last season. But then he had that magical postseason run when I think when Cousins went down, and he has brought it into the season. And if this is the guy that we traded for against the Cubs last year at the deadline, if this is who he is, I love him. I love how he pitches. I want him to stay on the roster when Loiza come back, when Cousins comes back, when Matt comes, and all the other pitchers come back. I want him on the roster because he looks that good. And then we saw Cruz for the first time. Cruz looked good. He's filthy. His pitches. I was excited to see him for the first time in the season. And then Yorbo looked good. I've watched him, I think, a few times last year. I think it was when he was with the Dodgers. And he looked good. But I'm so used to watching him as a Ray, so I knew what his stuff was, but I definitely think, he's definitely a good long inning guy that we had, and definitely, he was the right pick for the Yankees to sign him because we needed that long relief left-hander. And Yorbo is I think he's a left-hander. If he's not, then a long relief guy. And we have that right now because right now we are short on our rotation, but Smith will be coming back in the next few weeks. Hill, it's gonna be a while, but Smith is definitely coming back, and Hamilton is coming back. So we're gonna get healthier in our pitching staff. But right now, I'm not worried about it, and I'm actually shocked coming to on the off day. My favorite pitcher going to going into who I think is probably gonna has a chance of a Cy Young isn't Freed, it's Rodon. And that's shocking to me. I did not think going into the season he would be the pitcher I would go to, saying that I think he has the chance at Cy Young or has the chance to in the running to be a top 3 candidate for the Cy Young. I am shocked I feel that way 3 games in, but I do because he pitched that great. And he showed that he's not just a slider fastball guy, and he has developed so differently over just 3 seasons being with the Yankees. He looks so much better than he did last year and the year before. And I think the adjustments that he's making and also adding different pitches and also getting more comfortable with Wells behind the dish and getting more comfortable with being a Yankee. And I think now that he's tackling I know people say Freed is the ace tattooing because Garrett Cole is out, but it's Rodon. He is the Yankee the longest at this point right now. So he is the guy that they started with opening day. He is. And he took it and he ran with it. Tackling they're supposed to, which Freed has said this in an interview, that you always want to do better than the pitcher you did before. They really didn't follow the script between Freed and Stroman. But it's only the first first games for them. Their season debuts. So they're definitely gonna get better. Free's gonna get better. The defense is gonna get better. I think it was just a fluke for that one game. I think they were just trying too hard. And also with the Brewers' speed, that also went into it, definitely with the miscues on the defense. Um, but I'm excited to see where this team is at. And also just how crazy it is that they outscored the Brewers, which are supposed to be a better team now than they are, but they're not really power hitting, they're more contact speed. So they're gonna win the close games most likely. But I think losing Devin Williams also hurts them. So that's why I'm like kind of like their starting pitching could get them places, but it's just like I don't think personally like that's they need more power in their lineup to make it past the wild card and division series, which they haven't really been able to do in a few years. But like the way they played is just like the Yankees and Brewers played this series. It's just crazy. Yankees were outscored them 36-14, outscore them in strikeouts 32-21, outscore them in walks 16-8. The only thing the Brewers did better than them was 5-2 in errors. They have 3 less errors than the Yankees. That's the only thing they did better than them. And the Yankees in the series, they tied a season record. No, no, 3 games. A 3-game set record of 15 home runs in a series. I think they tied the Tigers of 2006 or something like that. And I think the record is 18 for the National League. So I don't remember if it wasn't. And also during game 1, they tied a series a single game record of 9 home runs in a game. The only other teams that has done it is the Reds, and I think Toronto done it in the 90s, but they had it 10 home runs, not 9. And the crazy part, Aaron Boone was on the team in 1999 when the Reds actually did it. I think he was saying he was the first one to hit the home run, so that's really cool. And also, like a lot of stats with Judge. Judge is now the fastest player to 319 home runs in the Mountain League. Like he just keeps breaking records, and I think with the young kids and the veteran players around them, like Bellinger had a great game and a great series. Goldie had a great series, and that's where we were worried of how are we gonna produce without Soto, and we showed it. Not Judge. You had Goldie produce. You had Bellinger produce. Jazz is hitting. Jazz has 3 home runs in 3 days and had 2 brilliant shots yesterday. So then you have the younger players like Volpe and Wells and Rice producing. And Dominguez hasn't been hitting as well yet, but he's been getting on base on walks. Oswaldo Cabrera has been getting hits and walks. Oswald Peraza, his first at bat of the season is 2-run home run. And I know I think it was I think it was a pitcher's major league debut, but still, you have all these guys coming up either as rookies, veterans, or just guys in the middle of their career, and they're just clicking at the right time. And I hope this stays for the next so often because I'm excited to see them go into a long stretch of winning because you could lose a season in the beginning. You can't win a season to start off the year, but you could lose it. You could lose your chances of making the playoffs. And the way the Yankees are playing right now, I'm excited to see them run with it. And I'm excited to see where they end up in a few months from now when Giancarlo eventually does come back. And when Ian Hamilton comes back and when Clark Smith comes back. And I'm excited to see it because they just look like they're having so much fun. And also, it's just a wow factor because no one believes in the Yankees. And I'm one of those people who did not believe in it. But I'm happy they're proving me wrong because I do want a championship in October. I do. I want to be able to be in the city and celebrate with them on the during on the parade. At the parade. I want to see that. And I think me having less belief in them, I think as the underdogs go into the season, I'm happy to be the underdog because we're proving people wrong, and I'm excited to see that. And I hope they keep proving people wrong because they're a good team on paper, but people are just judging us because we don't have everyone healthy or because we lost Garrett Cole. Remember, last year we didn't have Garrett Cole until June, and we were like 43-12 or something like that. And Cole didn't come into game until game 75 or something like that. And even then, he didn't start off good, Cole. He was a little slow starting off. So I'm excited to see where the team ends up in the next few weeks. And I'm excited to see the series against the Diamondbacks. Definitely a good team. I think that gives the Yankees a lot more, not more pressure, but like they have the pitching and the depth of a more depth in their lineup to actually face issues for the Yankees for pitching and for their pitching staff and for their offense, definitely with their pitching. So I think that's more of a competition for them than the Brewers were. But still, the Brewers are still a good team, so I can't just knock the Brewers. But the Brewers got destroyed. They really did, and I'm not happy. I'm happy we got the sweep. That's what I'm happy about. So thank you for listening today. This was the Playbook and the Playbill with your host, Leanna Butte. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I'm signing out. Thank you all for listening.